Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to this Pokemon Showdown tournament thing that's been set up by a YouTuber known as Tillapasta. His YouTube channel will be in the description, and my opponent's as well will be in the description as well. I believe his name is Chime King, but his name is Tyrod, or Tyrod on Pokemon Showdown. So this tournament is basically your usual like OU sort of thing, but there was one sort of extra special rule that you could only have, well, 5-year Pokemon had to be from the same generation. And you can only have one like Pokemon not from that generation. So as you can see, I'm running a Generation 4 team. I have a Hippowdon, physical defensive, get up Sandstream, rapid spinning, special defensive, Tentacruel, Life Orb, Ice Shard, you know, my usual kind of Mammoth Swine, a special defensive Dusknoir, which actually is very good, special defensively and physical defensively too. Takes hits like an absolute monster. A Life Orb, mixed attacking Infernape, and a Choice Scarf Garchomp. Now he's running a Generation 1 sort of setup, which actually, looking at his team, is actually pretty good. He may have got a little bit unlucky, or I sort of like outplayed him, but he played very well. I think his team is very good like thought process behind it. He did say he wanted to make a different team, but he just went with this one. And yeah, let's just see how the battle went. So let's start it off. He's going to lead off with his Dugtrio. As I lead off with my Hippowdon, I didn't want to lead off with anything else in fear that he would lead with his Dugtrio. So I kind of predicted that. Knowing he won't be able to one-shot me, not a chance of him one-shotting me, I'll just go for a Stealth Rock, and I'm pretty much taking Earthquakes like they're nothing. I just hit him with my own Earthquake, as I believe he goes for the Memento, as I go for the Slack Off. So that's pretty good with me, I think. I get my HP back. I lose, like, I go to -2 attack, and -2 special attack, but it doesn't really matter because I was planning on switching out anyway, knowing that he would go out into Politoed. So I decided to switch out into my Tentacruel. As I know, I'd completely wall this thing. Even though he could pack Psychic, I did have a Choice Scarf one that had Psychic before, but it's not necessarily common, so yeah. He doesn't have a Rapid Spinner, which is also good for me, so I get to get the Multiscale off his Dragonite, and I also get to go for a Toxic, get that extra damage off, and yeah, that's pretty good for me. So I decided to switch out to my Hippowdon, thinking he may be a physical sort of set, but he actually reveals to be special, and he goes for the Hurricane. But I thought he may have been physical, and because my Hippowdon is a physical wall, it would take hits from this Dragonite very well. I just decided to go out to that. So knowing he'll probably switch, I go for the Whirlwind, wanting him to come back into Dragonite, just so I could get the extra Stealth Rock damage. Switch him out to Parasect, that's still going to do 25% to that, so that's fine with me. And I decided to switch out to my Tentacruel. Here, I think he probably should have Spored, but he goes for the Aromatherapy. If he went for Spore, he could have got the Aromatherapy on the next turn, and have something of mine to sleep. So I think that was probably a kind of questionable play on his part, I think, but you know, it doesn't really matter now. So he goes out to his Politoed as I go for the Toxic, and he is going to go for the switch out into his Gengar, and I predicted this knowing that he would think I'd go for Toxic again. I go for the Scald with my Tentacruel, get a nice 60% off with that, get the burn too, so that's extra good stuff. And I know that he pretty much can't do anything to me with Gengar. Goes for the Shadow Ball, gets the special defense drop. I'm safe, I can just Scald, finish him off. Crit didn't matter, as you already saw, it did 60% last time, so yeah, that's his Gengar taken care of. So I did predict a switch there on the Toxic, well, him predicting me to go for Toxic. So I go to my Dusknoir, knowing that he's a special variant now. He actually reveals he has the Dragon Tail, but he is more specially based, as you'll see here in a second, I believe. So I just stay in with my Tentacruel, go for Toxic. And gonna get that extra little damage off, and I just go for the Toxic. I didn't predict him to Roost, but it doesn't really matter. I still break the Multiscale, and yeah, get that little bit of damage off. So he goes for the Thunder, doesn't do that much. Gets the Paralysis though, which in all circumstances is actually fine because I really don't need Tentacruel that much. It is just sort of like a wall to his Politoed, I guess, but that's pretty much as good as it gets. So luckily for me, actually, I think I went for the Toxic here, predicting him to switch, knowing he'd go to Parasect because Dry Skin plus Scald equals good HP recovery for Parasect. I decided to go out into my Mammoth Swine, and I'm pretty much going to be able to take something out with a Icicle Crash. I think here he probably should have went to his Politoed. I guess he probably expected me to go for Earthquake. I just decided to go for Icicle Crash, but I think a better play would have been for him to go out to his Politoed. But again, he may have been predicting Earthquake, so that's pretty much his play, I guess. So I go to my Tentacruel, you know, knowing I can wall this this Politoed with pretty much ease, and I believe I just go for a Toxic to get extra damage off on something. As he goes to Dragonite, I'm going to Toxic that. I believe I miss, Or no, I can hit it, which is fine, which is actually very good, because, you know, I get that extra bit of residual damage and whatnot. Get that, like, pretty much cancel out his leftovers recovery. So get fully paralyzed here, as I believe I was going for the Scald. But he goes for the Dragon Tail, switches me out into Dusknoir. And this thing can pretty much stand up to his Dragonite, no problem at all. I believe he switches out into his Politoed, as I go for the Shadow Punch, which he's lucky I got rid of Shadow. I actually had Thunder Punch, but I got rid of Shadow Punch. I got rid of Thunder Punch for Shadow Punch before the battle, so that was sort of lucky for him, I guess. I go for the Shadow Punch again. It's not actually going to take it out, just a little bit. If I had like a little bit more attacking investment, I probably would have been taking it. I would have taken it out. I have no attacking investment on this Dusknoir, I believe, so a little bit more probably would have had me take out his Politoed. But at this point, it was pretty much a good game, because all I had to do was go to Choice Scarf Garchomp, go for Dragon Claw, and I slid Mamoswine for his Parasect and his Dragonite. So yeah, at that point it was pretty much a good game once I had taken out his Politoed. I go for the Dragon Claw. It doesn't quite take him out. If I went for Outrage, it would have taken him out, and I probably could have went for Outrage. It wouldn't have mattered if I got the 2-turn, because I still would have had Mamoswine for whatever one of his Pokemon he had left. So he goes for the Aromatherapy. I don't really see the point of that, because I can just finish this thing off with an Ice Shard, and I can finish off his Dragonite with the exact same move. So that was a great battle against Chime King, or Tyrod, or Tyrod as he's known on Pokemon Showdown. And yeah, that pretty much advances me into the next round of the tournament. So I'll keep you guys updated with that. Hopefully it goes better than the last one I was in. That was nobody's fault, but it just got a little bit disorganized. I'm hoping this one will continue. And yeah, I will see you guys for more shortly enough, so catch you then.